Ashley Monet here. Got a bonus video for you guys today, and this one is very exciting because I have been sent some free art supplies. Arrtx was kind enough to send me a whole goo gob of acrylic markers to review on my channel. You've likely seen these brush tip acrylic markers because they're kind of everywhere right now. I will be playing with these in the near future, but today I want to talk about these. These are the Arrtx bullet nib acrylic paint markers. I was sent the pack of 36 markers, but disclaimer, even though I did receive them for free as a gift, my opinions are not for sale, so I will be giving you guys a 100% honest review on them, and the only way to do that is to tell you
the good, the bad, and the ugly.
So let's pop this open to look at all of these glorious colors. Oh, there are so many. So to use them, you do the classic shaky, shaky, shaky to mix up that paint, and then pump the tip to get the paint to flow to the nib, and then you're good to paint the day away. Now, given how these work, it's impossible not to mentally compare them to these guys. Yes, I immediately found myself thinking, wow, these are just like Poscas. I mean, they're both bullet nibs, the nib size is pretty much the same, and they both are the shake, pump, and press type of marker. So let's have these two duke it out and find out if the Poscas need to step aside and make room for a new acrylic marker sheriff in town. Let's talk color selection. These are all of the Arrtx marker colors that I have in this set. There is a huge range of colors, and mind you, this is the 36-piece set. This same marker type is also available in a 48-piece set, which means you could get all of this plus 12 more. It is tradition that one must swatch all of the colors for a new set of art supplies, so let me do that really quick. Lovely. Now compare those colors to these. That's it. This is what my beef is with Posca. Like, they are so pricey that I haven't gotten around to adding any additional colors to this initial set, which honestly left me with such a limited color selection, I pretty much never use these. I mean, what can you make with just these colors? Now, because I only have a few Poscas, I wanted to give a more accurate comparison. I looked on Amazon and found this set of Poscas, which contains 29 colors. I tried to pull all the Arrtx colors that were very close to the Poscas that are in that set, and I was able to almost identically match every single color except for the navy blue that's in there. And that would be all of these here. So basically, the Arrtx set comes with virtually all of those Posca colors, and then factor you have all of these awesome Arrtx colors in addition. But how do they compare in cost? Disclaimer.
These are all prices that I found on Amazon. They are accurate as of today, but obviously could change in the future. Also, I'm doing a simple Google conversion to other types of currency, so please note that if you are in another country, this may not be the price available on your Amazon. It's just the converted price that they are in the US of A. Got it? Good.
So this 36-piece Arrtx set goes for $29.99, while the Posca set goes for $49.99. So to be clear, you're paying $20 less for Arrtx than you would pay for Posca, getting the same colors plus 7 more. Now, to play devil's advocate here, let's say hypothetically you were to get the Arrtx 48 marker set. It goes for $36.99, which means you would be paying $13 less than the Posca, getting all of the colors and getting 19 additional paint markers. Like, that is insane. So yeah, I think it goes without saying that the Arrtx markers are a lot more affordable than the Poscas. But, does that make them better? Only if the quality is matched. If the Arrtx markers work just as well, then there's no question at all. So let's start testing them by doing some swatching. I tried to pull those same Posca colors from the Arrtx set. I think it did pretty well. The only discrepancy is kind of the pink. The Posca one is like very neon for some weird reason. But we're gonna swatch both of these side by side so there should be a clear visual of which is better or if they're the same. Also, the ultimate test of opacity is how well they show up over black. So I'm going to create this black patch to swatch over with all of our markers. Let's swatch out the Poscas first. I'm honestly shocked that they're not more opaque, especially that light blue. Like, that is struggling. And now for the Arrtx. Right off the bat, I can say these markers are a lot juicier, which could be a good and bad thing. Like here on this paper, the lines are kind of feathering out a little bit just because they're so juicy. I will say too, the Arrtx Black is not as pigmented as the Posca Black. Like notice how you can still see the Posca Black over the black section. The Arrtx Black is less visible in that section. But oh, these are so opaque. Look at that, virtually no difference covering white or black. That is wild. With the swatches finished, I would say that both brands over the white are very comparable. Like I would not be able to tell the two apart. But this black section, like that has revealed so much. I will say the red seemed to be the weakest of the Arrtx, but all of the others overall, I mean, there's no contest. The Arrtx definitely is more opaque than the Poscas. Now, to be fair, these acrylic markers, Poscas included, are not really designed for paper. So the true test of their function is going to be on multiple different surfaces. I decided to start with rocks. I've never really understood the rock painting thing, but who cares? We're having fun today. It doesn't matter if I never use these for anything. I will say the shape of this rock is perfect for painting. However, this one, not so much. I sent Cody and Phoebe out to find some rocks, and this is what they brought back. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt and assume there were not two of those perfect rocks out there. I obviously gessoed the rocks beforehand. I'm using the Arrtx first on the busted rock. I thought it would be fun to make these rocks little monsters, but boy, these pen nibs were not loving the rocks. I had to do so many passes to get real coverage, and I'm impatient, so I wasn't gonna battle over the rest of the rock surface, so I just used some regular acrylic on the back and sides. Didn't nail the color match on that. Too bad, so sad. But then I went back through and touched up the marker bits. And I'm telling you guys, these nibs feel like they're being shredded by the rocks. Hey, bonus, at least Arrtx sends me some replacement nibs along with their markers. You think Posca does? Okay, let's do the Posca rock now. This time I'm going to start by painting the majority of the rock, and then I can go in with the paint marker. I honestly think the design of this one is cuter than the first one, kind of my favorite. But talking function-wise, like both markers felt the same painting on rocks. They are the same. This test is pretty much a tie. How about we try some Shrinky Dinks next? People definitely use Posca for those. Now, I haven't done Shrinky Dinks since I was a kid, so I'm going to make one of these legitimately a test dink so I can figure out the oven process without like risking ruining one of my real creations. And I guess the word test made me think of a pencil, so that's what I painted on this one, and I used both brands to do it. Now let's do this Posca dink. I had to pick something again that worked with a very limited color palette, so I went with a juicy eyeball where I could use both of the blues to give the iris some dimension, and then the pink and red for all of those little blood vessels. I actually really like this design, so I'm secretly hoping it works out. Now for the Arrtx dink, I had a lot more options, so I went for a tooth, figuring I'd be able to add some shading and decay, all that to it. However, immediately, I did not like these markers on the Shrinky Dink material. They applied in very thin lines instead of thick strokes, so I had to do like a zillion strokes to fill in the entire space, and it looked so streaky. Ooh. My shading didn't really work well either because the new paint was pulling up the old paint. It was just a mess. Like I had to let this whole thing dry and then go back in to fill the voids so many times. It resulted in so many layers of paint on this thing. I did like the finished design though, so it was time to cut them out and bake them. Please ignore how dirty my air fryer is right now, but this is by far the most satisfying part to watch. Nerve-wracking when you see them start to kind of curl up on themselves, but they all flatten themselves out, and just watching that process is so cool. Once I pulled them out of the oven, I would just set like a big heavy bowl on these just to kind of help flatten them out. And this is what we got out of it. Ironically, the test dink was the most successful of them all. It's the flattest. There were no issues with the paint, and of course I used both brands on it, so I can't give credit to either one. But the Arrtx, you guys, it is so bad. There was clearly way too much paint and it all bubbled up, but you guys saw me applying it. Like I had no choice but to really layer it on there. This looks awful. Ew. The Posca eyeball did a lot better, but it's not without its faults. Like there is bubbling on the eyeball itself, and that little highlight, oh my gosh, that practically exploded. Now adding resin to the top definitely made these look better, but you can still see the chaos underneath. Personally, I would not recommend either of these for Shrinky Dinks, but especially not the Arrtx. But I added some hardware to these, and now I have 2 busted keychains. I mean keychains with character. Okay, next let's try glass. I have this little double picture frame thing, and I'll just paint one pane of glass with Posca and the other with Arrtx. Let's pop the glass out and give it a good cleaning. I did already sketch out my ideas, and I'm going with one of my favorite things to paint, mushrooms. Now again, I had a very limited color palette with the Poscas. I could have done a more controlled comparison and used only those same colors on the Arrtx side, but you know what? No, part of the argument for Arrtx is that you can get way more colors for less cost. So I'm taking advantage of that, and I'm going to use lots of different colors on this side. Painting the glass this way is kind of crazy because you're layering backwards. So basically anything in the foreground gets painted first, and then you slowly work your way to the background. For these, the background will be black, of course. It's like my signature, but I really want the colors to pop, and also this will definitely show any imperfections or streaks in the colors that we've already laid down. Okay, these have had their time to dry. Now let's reveal. To be honest, I'm not in love with either one, but it's clear that the Poscas came up short as far as coverage. This side looks quite streaky. Meanwhile, the Arrtx one is nice and opaque. Well, okay, it's a little patchy in the yellows, but otherwise super clean. I just don't like what I painted for these. Like, I'm the type of girl, I like shading, I like fine details, so these feel a little basic to me. But you know what? That's okay. Let's get them back in the frame. Yeah, I'd definitely say Arrtx won this round. Okay, now for my last project, I just want to work with the Arrtx on their own. This is my phone case. I've had it for over 4 years, and that makes it beyond due for replacing. Look how brown those edges are. Blech. And they started out crystal clear, like this one, brand new. Yes, let's paint this. I started by giving it a little sanding. And like most of the other projects, the base color is just easier to do with regular acrylic and a brush. I'm not trying to be here all day. We want to hurry up and get to the fun painting parts. So for my design, I was inspired by those fun little sheet ghost thrift store paintings that went trending around Halloween time last year. But I mean, I like this kind of thing year round, so we're going for it. Of course, working on this scale with thicker paint markers was tricky. I could have really used some fine line details here. But I love how it turned out. I love this little flower field. I love the night sky. And once I was happy with the painting, I went ahead and added a little metallic gold edge to all of this. Ugh, I love that. After a couple of coats of gloss varnish, we can now pop this back on. Yay, this is just so fun, and I love that now I kind of get to carry around a little piece of art with me everywhere I go. I think this is my favorite thing I've created today. We have done a lot of tests today though, and I feel comfortable saying that my opinion is the Arrtx holds its own against the Poscas. I think they are equal in quality. Sure, the Poscas did better in some things, but the Arrtx did better in some too, so you have to consider what you want to use them for. And if I can say that the quality is the same, then the only determining factor between the two is cost. And for the variety of colors that you get and a more affordable price point, like to me, the clear winner of the day is Arrtx. So I'm sure what you guys are wondering, at least it's certainly what I would ask if I was watching this video. If these were not a free gift to me, let's say I use them all up and I'm shopping for my own paint markers to replace them, would these be the ones I would buy for myself? And my answer is a definite yes. Like, I might even buy the 48 pack to feel like I'm getting even more bang for my buck. I don't know. I'm a girl who loves a bargain. But if you are interested in getting yourself a set of these markers, they are available on Amazon as well as the Arrtx website, and all of the links are going to be in my description. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful and informative. If it was, let YouTube know with a little thumbs up. And until next time, goodbye.